Welcome to 30 Days of Marketing Mavens. 30 days, 30 experts, 30 marketing niches. Brought to you by Profit Master Business Solutions. More leads, more sales, and more revenue for your small or medium-sized business. Click findnewrevenue.com to learn more. Now here's your host, Howard Walpuff.
Welcome back to 30 Days of Marketing Mavens, brought to you by Profit Master Business Solutions. Again, I'm Howard Walpuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, another great conversation coming up about marketing. Today, we are so fortunate to have Greg Potapenko, of the CEO of H-Hour Marketing, here with us, who really has a vast knowledge of the beginnings of the internet and jumping in and really rolling up his sleeves to learn how things were building and as they were developing. And Greg, really, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Howard, for such a fine intro. I'm glad to be here.
So give us all a little background of how you got started with marketing.
Sure. So the year was 1997, and I was a teenager when my parents uprooted our family back in Russia and brought us to Canada, settled down in Toronto. So first few months, I didn't know a lot of people, but fortunately, my father bought me a computer. So, after doing the video games and messing around with different stuff, I got bored and actually found these forums where people were teaching how to code and build web pages and stuff like that. So, I actually first built my first web page in around end of '97, and in '98, I built a website that actually was based around like a pretty popular topic in Russian, and it actually became viral before going viral was a term. It got featured on national TV in Russia and got a lot of buzz for about a year. I didn't know how to monetize it, unfortunately. So when the fad died, that was the end of that story. However, I actually met some people who taught me how to make money online, and so I made my first money online in 1998 by placing banner ads who would pay CPC per click, and just basically spamming this link directories online to try to get traffic every day to the site. So that worked for a few months, and then it stopped working, like any short-lived tactic. Mm-hmm. And then I went back to the normal life, got an education, joined the military, joined the workforce, spent about 7 years working in corporate in Toronto on Bay Street, doing finance and project management work. I worked for the biggest gold mining company in the world, and it was a fun ride, but I was still not satisfied. And as I was about to have my first child in 2007, I discovered this forum, I think, where people were doing affiliate marketing. So thankfully, I knew how to make websites, and I built my first, lead generation funnel, as you'd call it now, and taught myself Google AdWords, and launched, and of course lost about $5 or $6 grand right off the bat. But I didn't get discouraged. I didn't quit, and I analyzed and learned what would work. A couple of things actually did end up working, and next year I actually made the money back and made a little bit more money on top. And the year after, I made probably my annual salary at the corporate work I was doing. So I decided to make it into a business, and that's when I registered the company called H-Hour Marketing. So that's a military term that signifies the beginning of a mission. And in 2011, I went all in full time, and has been a wild ride ever since.
So Google really is the end all, the be all, and mastering ads is really the way that companies can go from doing well to doing exceptionally well. What was some of the pitfalls and bumps along the road that you experienced as you were trying to develop into the master of Google Ads that you are now?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely it wasn't a smooth ride. So a couple of notable moments. There were so many, but I actually lost Google accounts twice, which means I was completely banned from the platform by Google for breaking their rules. Wow. And both times I was able to work with Google to get back onto the platform and get back into their good books. It took about a month or two each time, and a lot of hard work and due diligence. But I think it's important to maintain good relationships with such big players, and instead of looking at them as enemies or the necessary evil or this big evil corporation, look at them as partners and I think that's the way to do it. So number one thing is like don't break the rules, for sure. And there were other mistakes. Something silly like omitting a decimal point and bidding $55 instead of 55 cents. That's probably the fastest $1,000 I've ever spent on Google.
I would hope you were number one at that point.
Um, yeah, unfortunately that still didn't make it profitable. Yeah, so those are probably two of the most notable things that happened.
But I think the story out of that is the fact that they banned you twice was that they let you back the first time, and obviously they let you back the second time, which really is a testament to again building that relationship and what you've been able to bring to the table. That I'm sure was quite a nerve-wracking few months in the process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like basically getting the rug pulled from under you, and if that's the only source of traffic, if that's the only source of income, that's really scary. Just not having that all of a sudden, like when you wake up and you see the big red line across the screen, that's not a good feeling. So
hopefully no one else has really experienced that, but obviously you now know that if you see a big red line across your Google screen, then you're in a little bit of trouble, and you have to you got a lot of work ahead of you. But
yeah,
that's
people are experiencing it as we speak with their Facebook ad accounts, and
yes,
that's the same thing. Then some people are able to get it back by working diligently with Facebook, showing them that they're interested in a long-term partnership and not just a cash grab. And some people are not allowed back on the platform because of the things that they've done or the things that they continue to do.
But let's turn on the more positive end of some of the real successes that you've had with Google Ads and how that really has benefited some of the companies that you work with.
Yeah, for sure. So over the years, we've done a lot of things like started in lead generation. So did personal loans, financial products, insurance. Then we did things like home services, solar panels, moving, and software and apps. Like when apps became a thing, did a lot of apps. Some of the, I guess overall results, we've spent over 8 figures in Google over the years, and right now we're spending between $10,000 to $20,000 a day on just Google traffic alone. So managing that is no easy feat for sure.
Sure.
What else? I mean, I've got to visit Google headquarters a couple of years ago in California. That was pretty awesome.
The things I hear about that place are just amazing. What a unique working environment for the employees there.
Got really good catering. That much I can tell.
So let me ask you the question I'm asking everyone who comes on. What's the number one strategy that's really working well for you and your clients to achieve the marketing goals?
Sure. So I was actually reviewing it this morning. So currently on Google, what's working for me, because my clients are global and they're looking for like maximum reach. My strategy is to create the campaign structure that covers all available inventory, or basically showing all kinds of ads available to all the people across all Google properties, be it YouTube, Gmail, Google Display Network, Google Search, Google Shopping. Basically, the strategy is to be almost like omnipresent in the Google ecosystem and having the campaign structure and the types of ads that enable you to be everywhere.
Yeah, having the knowledge of what options are out there already starts you off with being able to strategize and come up with the right type of concepts for you. But obviously the right information of someone who knows what they're doing definitely guides a company in the right direction, because it's a serious budget line that you're using to find the right ROI.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest mistake I see currently with people working on Google is they just think of Google as still AdWords, just the Google search. That's part of the reason why they're rebranded, because like I alluded to earlier, Google Ads tap into 90% of the internet through all of their properties, Gmail, I think they have 30 or 40% of webmail market in the world. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, and also I think the biggest video platform. Then they have their banner ads sprinkled all over the internet, and I think last statistics I read was that it covers up to 90% of the entire World Wide Web. That's pretty remarkable. So there's all this other inventory on Google available that a lot of people either ignore or don't know about or choose not to use, and I think that's really shooting themselves in the foot.
Absolutely, because there's so many different strategies to find those different audiences in those places. I know I see I have Gmail, so I see little banners on a regular basis coming through. Aside from whatever you find running all the time on YouTube, so yeah, it's a real good statement for these companies to really have a broad sense of really your targets and finding the right ways to target them and spending your money wisely throughout these different options.
Yep, that's right.
Well, Greg, I really thank you so much for joining us today. Really, that just having that basic understanding of Google, which some of it is simple enough, but people really don't understand what the mapping is out there for them. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing that with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, and what's the best way for people to get in contact with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, so our corporate website is h-our.biz, and you can get in touch with us there through the contact form, or if you want to hit me up personally, I'm on Instagram. It's Bratok48, Bratok 48, and yeah, you can just DM me there.
All right, perfect. So, Greg, thank you so much for joining us, and I know I appreciate it, and I'm sure that everyone else out there really got a really good lesson about Google from you.
Yeah, I hope it's useful, and it teaches people to look beyond just search.
Exactly, and it's a really good statement right there. Just there's so much that you just need to not look at what's in front of you. There's a lot of things behind those pieces that will help you grow your business and find the right ways to market to your right targets. So take this information and obviously everything else that you're learning on this 30-day journey and soak it in and test it out. That's really the best way for you to help your business grow. And go out, have a great day today, and we'll see you on the next segment. Thank you.
Thank you.